Good evening. Welcome to the regular meeting for the Armstrong School District Board of Directors for Monday, January 8, 2018. Won't you please rise with me for a moment of reflection, followed by the Pledge of Allegiance. Now the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge
Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Roll call.
Mr. Burdell. Ms. Bowser.
Here.
Mr. Chauncey.
Here.
Mr. Elkin.
Here.
Ms. Loach. Dr. Lobby.
Here.
Mr. Mulroy. Mr. Scaife.
Here.
Mr. Smith.
Here.
The Board of School Directors of Armstrong School District convened an executive session on Monday, January 8th at 7 o'clock p.m. in the faculty lounge of West Hills Intermediate School in Katanning for discussion of personnel and a real estate agenda item.
Okay, no Lenape report or Aaron report naturally. Are there any central office administrative reports?
Nothing more than what we presented last week.
Okay. Public comments on agenda items this evening. You're gonna have to really think of something to talk about. I'm gonna look at you each time. Okay, now we're gonna vote on the various things in the on the agenda. We have a series of minutes, and we'll roll all of these under one. We have organization meeting of December 7th, 2017, open caucus for December 7th, and the regular meeting for December 11th. Like a motion and a second to approve. To combine, need a motion and a second to combine and approve the minutes for those that I just read.
I'll make a motion.
Mr. Smith, Mr. Scaife, and Mr. Elkin. Roll call.
Mr. Scaife.
Yes.
Mr. Smith.
Yes.
Ms. Bowser.
Yes.
Mr. Chauncey.
Yes.
Mr. Elkin.
Yes.
Dr. Lobby.
Yes.
Number voting yes, 6. Number voting no, 0. 3 absent. Motion carries.
We have 4 things under bills: the food service fund for December, capital projects for December, the athletic fund in November, and the presentation of bills for payment. I'll look for a motion and a second to combine and approve those 4 bills. Mr. Smith and Dr. Lobby. Any other discussion about those bills from board members? Okay, roll call.
Mr. Smith.
Yes.
Ms. Bowser.
Yes.
Mr. Chauncey.
Yes.
Mr. Elkin.
Yes.
Dr. Lobby.
Yes.
Mr. Scaife.
Yes.
Number voting yes, 6. Number voting no, 0. 3 absent. Motion carries.
We have a number of items under personnel. I'll look for a motion and a second to combine and approve personnel 1 through 14, except for those items that were indicated to be information only. Need a motion? Dr. Lobby, second. Mr. Scaife. Roll call.
Ms. Bowser.
Yes.
Mr. Chauncey.
Yes.
Mr. Elkin.
Yes.
Dr. Lobby.
Yes.
Mr. Scaife.
Yes.
Mr. Smith.
Yes.
Number voting yes, 6. Number voting no, 0. 3 absent. Motion carries.
Education, we have 1 item, the addition of courses for 2018-19. I need a motion and a second. Motion, Ms. Bowser. Second, Mr. Elton. Any discussion? Roll call.
Mr. Chauncey.
Yes.
Mr. Elkin.
Yes.
Dr. Lobby.
Yes.
Mr. Scaife.
Yes.
Mr. Smith.
Yes.
Ms. Bowser.
Yes.
Number voting yes, 6. Number voting no, 0. 3 absent. Motion carries.
Business, we have 2 items. We're going to vote on each of these separately because we have to waive the rules for the second one. So we'll take the first one, business 1, workers' compensation physician panel revision. Need a motion and a second. Mr. Elkin and Mr. Scaife. Nothing to really report on that. Roll call.
Mr. Elkin.
Yes.
Dr. Lobby.
Yes.
Mr. Scaife.
Yes.
Mr. Smith.
Yes.
Ms. Bowser.
Yes.
Mr. Chauncey.
Yes.
Number voting yes, 6. Number voting no, 0. 3 absent. Motion carries.
Okay, for this next one, we have this was not discussed on Thursday, so we need to waive the rules to add it to the agenda. So this is not to vote on actually business 2, but this is to waive the rules to have it added to the agenda. Is that correct?
Yeah, for new board members, there's a policy here at the district board level that if an item is not discussed at a prior meeting, it cannot appear on an agenda. And if you need to get something on the agenda and everybody's willing to waive the rules, you can do that. This concerns the lease agreement with Butler Community College, where they're going to lease 3 classrooms at the Elderton High School, former Elderton High School facility.
So I need a motion and a second to waive the rules. Mr. Smith and Dr. Lobby. Roll call for waiving the rules.
Dr. Lobby?
Yes.
Mr. Skafe?
Yes.
Mr. Smith?
Yes.
Ms. Bowser?
Yes.
Mr. Johnson?
Yes.
Mr. Elkin?
Yes.
Number voting yes, 6. Number voting no, 0. 3 absent. Motion to waive the rules carries.
Now we'll look to approve the motion for business 2, which is the lease agreement with Butler County Community College. I'll need a motion and a second. Dr. Lobby and Mr. Scaife. Discussion, did we discuss that on Thursday at all? Did you want
Essentially, the agreement is in cooperation with Butler Community College for them to lease 3 classrooms at Elderton High School for the purpose of providing educational experiences for post-secondary education students.
It's $2,000 a month for 3 classrooms.
Yes.
And they'll only be using the entrance to the high school. They won't be intermingling at the elementary school.
any other discussion amongst the board members?
Do those classes take place during the day, evenings, or how's that work?
Well, they're going to send me the schedule tomorrow, but I believe that they're evening classes.
Any other discussion?
If they're evening, do they do any kind of security necessary? or-
No, we don't believe so, no.
In fact, the lease provides that we give them the key to the building, meaning the high school section.
Right.
So it's their own responsibility to have the place open and closed when they leave,
Okay.
as opposed to our custodial staff doing it.
Any other discussion? Roll call?
Mr. Skafe?
Yes.
Mr. Smith?
Yes.
Ms. Bowser?
Yes.
Mr. Chauncey?
Yes.
Mr. Elkin?
Yes.
Dr. Lobby?
Yes.
Number voting yes, 6. Number voting no, 0. 3 absent. Motion carries.
Construction 1, one item, this is the Guaranteed Energy Savings Agreement, of which we talked about and had a presentation on Thursday, because there was a lot of discussion back and forth of whether to include the alternates or not. I'll go ahead and read the motion. The Board of School Directors approves Phase 2 of the Energy Management Plan and amendment of the Guaranteed Energy Savings Agreement entered into between the Armstrong School District and Reynolds Energy Services, Inc., to include Elderton Elementary School and Phase 2 of Shannock Valley Elementary School in the additional amount of $8,280,999 as presented. The scope of work includes alternates A1, A2, A3, A4, and A5. I have all that material. So I will look for a motion and a second for that motion. Dr. Lobby, second. Mr. Scaife. Some discussion from board members, any questions? Okay, roll call.
Mr. Smith?
Abstain.
Ms. Bowser?
Yes.
Mr. Chauncey?
Yes.
Mr. Elkin?
Yes.
Dr. Lobby?
Yes.
Mr. Skafe?
Yes.
Number voting yes, 5. Number voting no, 0. 3 absent, 1 abstention. Motion carries.
One item under student transportation services is the approval of bus drivers for 2017-18. I'll look for a motion in a second. Mr. Elkin? Ms. Bowser? Roll call?
Ms. Bowser?
Yes.
Mr. Chauncey?
Yes.
Mr. Elkin?
Yes.
Dr. Lobby?
Yes.
Mr. Skafe?
Yes.
Mr. Smith?
Yes.
Number voting yes, 6. Number voting no, 0. 3 absent. Motion carries.
2 items under policy 1 and 2. We talked a little bit about it on Thursday, had some explanation from the solicitor, so I'll look for a motion in a second to approve. Mr. Smith, a second by Mr. Scaife. Roll call?
Mr. Chauncey?
Yes.
Mr. Elkin?
Yes.
Dr. Lobby?
Yes.
Mr. Skafe?
Yes.
Mr. Smith? Ms. Bowser?
Yes.
Number voting yes, 6. Number voting no, 0. 3 absent. Motion carries.
1 item under general, it's the election of Armstrong School District Director to Aaron Intermediate Unit 28 Board. And we have a name finally for someone to serve that, and that's Mr. Burdell. So look for a motion in a second. Motion, Dr. Lobby, second, Ms. Bowser. Roll call?
Mr. Elkin.
Yes.
Dr. Lobby.
Yes.
Mr. Skave.
Yes.
Mr. Smith.
Yes.
Ms. Bowser.
Yes.
Mr. Johnson.
Yes.
Number voting yes, 6. Number voting no, 0. 3 absent. Motion carries.
Anything in the informational folder under other?
No additions to the info forward.
Anything from any other board members? Hearing none, I'll look for a motion and a second to adjourn. Mr. Scave made the motion. Second. Mr. Elkin. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Meeting adjourned. Thank you.